everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Elizabeth, aka Nurse Zabe, here on YouTube and Instagram, and I am coming at you with another one of our labor toolbox videos. So these are a series of videos. I'm releasing one every weekday, and it's going to just be things that you can use to help you deal with your labor. So in today's video, we are going to be talking about essential oils and aromatherapy. What do we know about essential oils? Well, they are a complementary medicine, which means that they can be used alongside more traditional routes. People use them in their house for scents, for cleaning, for calm, stress relief, for sickness, all sorts of different things. In labor, essential oils can be really beneficial for a few different reasons. One, scent has memory. You know how Olaf says water has memory in Frozen 2? Well, in real life, scent has memory, and sometimes if you smell a scent that is familiar to you, something that perhaps you often diffuse in your own home, again, back to that birth environment, it can create a really calming birth environment if you smell a fragrance that's familiar. Two, scent we know can reduce anxiety, and heightened anxiety, one, is going to mess with your oxytocin levels. It's going to increase your stress hormones, which can be not so beneficial to progressing labor. So anxiety also is going to increase your perception of pain, because when you're anxious, things seem more painful. So by decreasing your anxiety, we can also help with pain relief. So that is a really good part of essential oils, is to decrease your anxiety. Another thing that essential oils can be useful for is nausea. So peppermint oil is the big one there, and that can be something that a mom can smell on a washcloth to help reduce nausea and vomiting, which sometimes are associated with labor. There are also some oils that are thought to help increase your oxytocin and can help perhaps speed along labor. There are lots of uses for essential oils in labor. So, quick little side note. I have my 10 things your labor nurse doesn't want you to pack in your hospital bag or bring to the hospital or something of that nature. First off, the name of that title is only that because it fits in a series. You can bring whatever you want to the hospital, and I do say that in the video, and I say if these things work for you, that's great. They're just not things that I personally like or would recommend. And in that video, I did talk about essential oil diffusers and diffusing and filling the whole room up with scent. And I talked about how some people might be allergic to the scent. Sometimes it's triggering for asthma or difficulty breathing. And I got a lot of really intense opinions on both sides of that. Some people were like, Elizabeth, you're a nurse, you work for us, and you shouldn't tell us what we should and should not bring. And other people were like, thank you, I also have allergies and asthma, and as a laboring mom, if somebody else is diffusing on the unit, it would really affect me. End of the day, again, I will say it again, and I'm sure I'll still get the same comments. This is your labor and this is your birth. You are in charge of it. These things in our toolbox that we have, the things that I suggest, are simply things for you to take in, process, see if you like, see if you don't like, use them if you like them, don't use them if you don't like them, and if you are using them because you thought you'd like them and then you don't like them, don't use them. So that's my little PSA. Now, one thing I really want you guys to know, while I'm not a huge fan of diffusing essential oils, I'm going to get into that more now. So in labor, sometimes something that sounded really good 20 minutes ago and you start diffusing the scent, all of a sudden can be overwhelming and nauseating, and you just want it to go away. When you are diffusing into an open room, these fragrances can become overwhelming and difficult to decrease. There are several oils that babies, children under the age of 2, shouldn't be smelling. So another reason to refrain from diffusing oils such as like peppermint oil, they are very harsh on the respiratory system and they can cause respiratory issues in people under the age of 2. So when your baby's born and we've just been diffusing, it's hard to kind of rein that back in. So another reason why diffusing might not be the best option, or being very selective on which oils you diffuse. So what I really like, and a lot of doulas do this as well, is if you have the essential oil perhaps in a little like pill bottle or even a Ziploc bag, and you can put some drops of essential oil on a cotton ball, and that way the scent is contained. You can open up and smell when you need to and close it when you no longer need it and put it to the side. And it's not going to be all encompassing in your room. But if you're somebody who likes to diffuse and at the policies at your hospital are conducive with diffusing, and I know a lot of hospitals even have their own diffusers and have their own oils, definitely do that. This is your birth. But from my experience, sometimes these fragrances can become a little bit overwhelming, and having them in a more contained location, even just putting some on a washcloth and helping you smell them, can be really, really useful. Oils also can be mixed with like a carrier oil and rubbed on the skin. The soles of your feet can be a really great place to rub oil, smelled, like I said, in a small container or diffused into the room. You should not be ingesting essential oils. You should not. Just because they're pure, just because they're natural, does not mean that they are something that you should ingest or consume. So I think a really common oil that we think of when we think of oils that are relaxing and reducing anxiety is lavender, but there are several other oils that you can look into if lavender is not your thing. Orange, rose, geranium, pure salvia, and lavender are all ones that can help reduce anxiety and reduce patients' pain perception. So those are all great oils to have on hand. Citrus can also be really invigorating if you are getting to the point in your labor where you're like feeling a little bit down and feeling a little bit tired but needing to rally. Citrus scents, bitter orange can all kind of help you rally while still having those anxiety and pain reducing properties. Peppermint oil, like I talked about, one of my absolute favorites. We know that it helps reduce nausea, but the reason why I carry peppermint oil in my work bag every single day is because, pro tip, this oil actually can help you pee after you've had a baby if you're having difficulty peeing. So if you're having difficulty peeing, what your nurse can do if they have it available to them. Some units have it on hand and sometimes nurses have it on hand. So we'll put like a hat in the toilet for you to void into, and then we'll put this inside the hat, and then if you sit there, sometimes the oils, the fragrance from the oil helps you to relax and to pee, either if you're having difficulty after delivery because you had an epidural, or just sometimes there's just difficulty peeing after you've had a delivery, even if you haven't had an epidural, because a lot of things have happened in that general region. So I love peppermint oil for that. So the last oil I want to talk about with labor is called Clary Sage. This is one that people say maybe could help induce labor, or if you are already in labor, help things keep going by helping your body release more oxytocin. So Clary Sage is a great one for that. Clary Sage is the one oil I will say, if you buy it in advance, do not start diffusing before 37 weeks because we don't want us to go into labor before that time point. Aromatherapy is great because it is inexpensive, it is easily available, it's non-invasive, and it can be used if you have an epidural or if you don't have an epidural. Conclusion, if you are thinking about bringing essential oils with you for labor, find out which ones you like, maybe start diffusing them around your house beforehand so that you can really take in some smells and have some scent memories associated with these oils, and then bring them and maybe diffuse them, but perhaps think of having them in a more contained device for labor to help reduce anxiety and reduce patients' pain perceptions. I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Definitely check out my toolbox playlist if you want to see more things that you can put in your labor toolbox. Bye guys.